Hey there, friends. Welcome back to some more Shadowrun Dragonfall. When we last left off, we disarmed some bombs below the Brazar and the sewers, and we had help from our little ghoulie friends who didn't do much of anything. But anyway, we did disfuse them all. Now we need to head back up to the top to plan out our next moves and to take care of our fallen friend. So let's get on with the rest of the game. I'm really interested to see what is going to happen, because where do we go from here? Are we staying here? Are we leaving here? How many people died? It looked like everybody died. So let's find out. You emerge from the foulness of the sewers only to be met with the equally dark stench of cordite and death. Although you've saved the Kias, it's far from unharmed. Residents wandered the streets dazed, holding their wounds, tending to others, observing the damage. The look in their eyes tells the story. Their illusion of safety has been shattered. You enter Paul Amsel's trade emporium already knowing what you'll find there. The knowledge doesn't make the discovery any easier. Well, because we went in there last episode and we found him. That's how we know. We already know what's in there. We were just in there last episode. So it's pretty obvious what we're going to find. We're going to find stuff. Is it just going to take us automatically in there, or do I have to walk in there? Oh, no. Hey, there's Blitz! Once again, the team gathers around Paul Amsel, but tonight he has no more missions to offer and no advice to give. His body lies motionless on the hardwood, cooling in the night air. The ruin of his face has been hidden under a burlap tarp. For several minutes, nobody speaks. Finally, Dietrich steps forward. I think we should say something about Paul. There's another moment of silence, then Eager speaks up. I'll go. Eager brings herself to attention, stares straight ahead. Paul Amsel was an important member of this team, and he supported us well. He said what he was going to do, and he did it. That's rare. That's worthy of respect. She looks down at the body. There's a long pause before she speaks again. Thank you, Paul Amsel, for everything. Another pause. Her voice softens. I was out of position when they came for you. I couldn't save you. I'm sorry. The others shift uncomfortably, not knowing what to say. Glory breaks the awkward moment, her voice a frosty monotone. I appreciate what Amsel did for us. It's another loss, one that this team can't afford. Glory's eyes sweep across the group, then land on Amsel's body. Her expression is impossible to read. After a moment, she turns her head to look at you. Let's see. It's hard, I know, but this is why we need to keep together, support each other. No one's gonna look out for us but us. Well, we'll go with this one. Losing people is hard, no denying it. Paul was a good one and will be missed. Dietrich nods in agreement and crosses himself. Yeah, he was good. Goodbye, Paul. That, whatever he's saying there. Gingerly, Blitz steps forward. His hair is mussed, and there's a fresh bullet hole in his jacket. He smells like smoke and blood and stale sweat, and his hands tremble as he takes them out of his pockets. Well, I don't know. Paul was as well as the rest of you, but he seemed like a good guy. He shuffles his feet. I didn't want to see this happen, at any rate. You okay, Blitz? Looks like you and Mallet saw some action back there. Yeah. His eyes remain fixed on Amsel's body. I'll live. As if in turn, Dante lowers his head sadly and lets out a heavy sigh and closes his eyes. We will miss you, Paul. Don't worry about the body. I know what to do. Be respectful, but be quick. After all, it's only a shell. Paul's with Monica now. We're all gonna be with Monica soon if we don't do something. The Fire Wing came after us. She'll do it again. And she doesn't care if she brings down the entire Kias to get to us. Can't argue with that, boss. While First Wind lives, the Brazar's at risk. Our friends, our home, everything that Monica and Paul fought to protect. They'll all be destroyed if we don't put an end to it first. Come on, everyone. Let's go look at that optical chip. I want to see what we're dealing with. Oh yeah, we have the optical chip that we got from, Alice. And we can level up. So let's do that instead of doing other things. We have Speed Loader. You can reload all of her equipped weapons with 0 AP. Eager gains the ability that can target 2 enemies in one action. Has a cooldown of 3 and a cost of 1 AP. Oh, that's a cooldown of 7 turns. Oh, I thought she was just going to be able to reload it. Oh, okay, never mind then. We'll take this one. Where we can snap fire 2 enemies in one action. With her sniper rifle, no less. That's pretty sweet. And she's going to get a lot of abilities. So, yeah, confirm. Yeah, we'll just go ahead and pick that one. Dietrich replaces the Dragon Slayer Idol. Augment spell, Dragon Slayer Idol. Let's see, decreasing damage by an additional 2 points. The Dragon Slayer now harms all foes within 3 tiles of Dietrich for 16 damage on 61 rounds. Targets take 5 enemies. You know, I hardly use him. Yeah. Blah, 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 blah. I don't know. We'll keep the shield. With glory. Wow. Her last advancement's terrible. Glory carries a platinum kit on each mission, which brings back down characters with 100% HP. Replaces basic gold new monk kit. Or carries a custom revolver, hand machine, armor piercing ammo, 14 damage. I mean, I guess we can take the trauma kit, because we don't really use a gun anyway. So, we'll just go with the trauma specialist. And for Blitz, he's got decking. While Blitz is jacked in the Matrix, attacks on his physical body are reduced by 3. Integrated tactical computer marks weak points on opponent's armor. Blitz's mark target ability now reduces the target's armor by 2. That's nice. I'm not too worried about him taking damage while he's decking. So we'll take that. Everybody's all leveled up. Confirm all. Yay. And now we need to go read that thing. Yay. Wow, they didn't trash the place. And how'd you get that lock open? Wow, everybody's looking at me. What's up, Dante? Just chilling, bro? You little hellhound? Dante lifts his head to look up at you mournfully. The feral aggression is gone from his eyes. He's changed. You can see it, but he's still Dante. So, Sultan McFarkles. Dante was very helpful out there, but I'm a bit concerned about his fire breathing. Pretty cool trick, don't you think? Don't worry about it, Dietrich. It's under control. If you say so. He's not a normal dog, not by a long shot. Is he possessed? I assume you've checked his aura and discovered he's part hellhound. Monica trained him for months to be combat ready. We had a hellhound in the house, and Monica didn't tell us for months? Sultan McFarkles has him under control, Dante performed well in the field, followed commands flawlessly. I have no concerns. Dante stays with me. Where I run, he runs. Yeah, he's my doggy. He's my doggy. And let's see. We can start up the mission computer. Let's see. The cool blue tones of the workstation's main menu fill the screen. A blinking message in the upper right corner. We have 0 new messages. Did we post pay data? No, I guess we didn't. Can we post pay data? No. I'm guessing we're staying here. Let's see. Read the contents of Alice's optical chip. You slot the optical chip into the computer's waiting chip jack. On the screen, Alice's office blooms into view. Second and a half later, or a half second later, a real-time simulation of Alice appears. Seated behind her mahogany desk, something about it reminds you of a figure from a wax museum, lifelike but dead inside. It greets you with the facsimile of Alice's joyless smile. Customer name, Sultan McFarkles. Its voice is hollow, synthetic, an automation masquerading as a living woman, one you've never met in the flesh. Account number 1012579. Greetings, valued customer. I am an offline simulacrum of the Alice persona. I have been included on this chip to answer any questions that you might have about your information purchase. Nifty piece of tech. Not now, Blitz. If you are ready to proceed, I will present Alice's findings. You may interrupt this presentation at any point by saying, Alice, I have a question. Is that the only thing you respond to, or can I talk to you like a normal person? Let's say, yeah. Simulacrum hitches slightly. You may interrupt this presentation at any point by saying, Alice, I have a question. Well, that answers that. We're ready. Let's get this show on the road. Very well. Commencing presentation. The simulacrum goes rigid for a moment, then seems to relax. When it speaks, it sounds more natural, as though the real Alice is speaking through it. Alright, Sultan McFarkles, I've got a good news for you and I've got bad news. Let's start with the good news. I found Vauclair and he's alive. Thank good. The trail to your missing doctor was a long and slippery one. The fee that you paid me barely covered my costs for the job. I sent a team into the Sox on a fact-finding mission. I bribed government officials. I greased the palms of wage slaves at megacorps all across Europe. Each step I took eliminated possibilities, drew me a little bit closer, and finally I found the place where Vauclair is being held. The simulacrum makes a sweeping gesture with its right hand, and an image switchblades onto the screen, a grainy overhead photograph annotated with map coordinates. You recognize it immediately. This is where you'll find him. He is being held captive at a remote estate called the Harfield Manor. Son of a bitch! He was there the whole time? You've got to be kidding me. He was... oh, there we go. He was there the whole time? Lori says nothing. She just studies the photograph and nods. Okay, nobody tell me. I get it. This is something else I missed. Alice, I have a question. The simulacrum hitches again, and you can feel the life drain out of it. It looks up at you robotically. You have a question. Alright, please make your inquiry now. What else did you turn up about the Harfield Manor? Seismological... Damn, that's a big word. Data and thermal imaging confirm the existence of a large, hollow chamber under the estate. It is my suspicion that Dr. Vauclair is being held somewhere within this substructure. If Farswin's kept Vauclair trapped there for almost 20 years, she's got to have a reason for it. It takes effort and resources to lock a man away for that amount of time. So what's her endgame in all this? Why not just kill him and be done with it? Malice? Revenge? Who knows? Remember, this is the man who shot her down. He sent her crashing into a radioactive wasteland. If somebody did that to me, I'd want to hurt him too, and I'd make it last. I think it goes deeper than that. According to Winter's DVD, Vauclair designed the experimental weapon that shot her down, and that weapon split her body from her essence. Glory glances down at her own steel and chrome arms and suppresses a shudder. If I had to guess, I'd say that she's trying to make him fix whatever he did to her. That's what makes sense to me. There's a moment of silence when the group processes Glory's suggestion. Before anyone can speak, the simulacrum cuts back in. Do you have another question? No more questions. Let's get on with the bad news. Very well. Feel free to interrupt again with any future... I love that. Very well. Feel free to interrupt again. Jeez. The simulacrum pauses and a brief tremor washes over her body. Its eyes flutter and you can hear the sound of your computer working to process more of the chip's data. Jaeger turns to address the team. If Vauclair's at Harfield's, we've got problems. The last time we broke into that place, they took Monica out. It was a miracle that any of you got out alive. Yeah, but now we know what's down there. This time we'll be prepared for it. We can handle this. Jaeger shakes her head. No, it'll be even worse this time. The first time we went in, we had the element of surprise on our side. But now they'll be expecting us. They're hunting us, remember? Their security teams are going to be waiting for us. Dietrich, that Audred bastard's going to be waiting for us. And even if we make it past them, we're going to have to deal with the dragon in the basement. Well, what else can we do? Cut and run? Last time I checked, that wasn't an option either. Even if it were, I wouldn't take it. I'm not running from this. Not after what they did here tonight. This is true. None of us are, Glory, but Jaeger's right. We can't just go charging in there again, not without some kind of edge this time. The simulacrum jerks back to life. It's resumed speaking, blissfully unaware of the conversation that it's cutting off. And now, Sultan McFarkles, on to the bad news. You now know where Valclair is, but rescuing him will not be possible. Alice, I have a question. He continues without waiting for a response. Why the hell not? In the course of my investigation, I've encountered something terrifying in the Matrix. It was fast, cunning, and very definitely intelligent. I'm convinced that I only escaped because it let me go. It could have killed me in a heartbeat if it wanted to. This thing that I met is protecting the Hartfield Manor, is going after anyone who gets too close to what's happening there. Alice, what'd you see in there? What is going after these people? By way of explanation, I would like you to read the following document. The simulacrum makes another sweeping gesture and the menu slides back onto the screen. This time it's filled with text. What you're looking at is an archived forum discussion from the early days of the Shadowland BBS. Blitz stares at the text on the screen. It isn't kidding, Chief. This discussion's dated back to 2036. That's ancient history in the decking community. It probably isn't even correct to call these guys deckers. Hackers would be more of an appropriate term. When you're finished reading it over, say, Alice, I'm done, and we can continue. Oh, we'll read it. As you lean in to read, the text slowly begins to scroll up from the bottom of the screen. You all hear about the SK team that got crisped a few hours ago? The whole lab's worth of researchers. All burned but broken beyond recognition. Ugly stuff. At this point, who has it? Power spike. It got them right through their data jacks like a bolt of lightning to the brain. A 1 in a million accident. Is that what they're saying? Is what they're saying? And you believe that? Got a more plausible explanation? Yes, actually, it was a cleanup operation. Color me intrigued. What are they cleaning up? A secret project by Loftweir that Loftweir didn't want anything to do with. You might have heard of rumors about it. The project name was Apex. And you've lost me. Apex? Clockwork? Seriously? All this is old line of Drek. I'm telling you, jokers, Apex is real, or at least it was, until the Whizworm pulled the plug. Come on, Clockwork. We're still decades away from seeing a fully functional AI, you know that. Those Apex stories have been floating around. They're just some conspiracy net's wet dream. Fine, keep your heads in the sand. Some of us know the truth when we read it. Okay, Clock, I'll humor you, but riddle me this. If Loftweir had an armed and operational AI in its claws, why kill it? You remember what happened to most of the Echo Mirage? The crash virus killed them, fried their brains, but I didn't see what that has to do with anything. With the commercial release of the CDT-1000, some security firms are working on counter-intrusion softwares that could do the same thing. Black IC. You can look it up if you don't believe me. Whoa, scary stuff, man. Well, the goal of the Apex project was to even scarier. IC waits for you to come in. Apex wouldn't be bound by those restrictions. It could go out hunting, hit its targets when they least expected it. That's why they call it Apex. It was designed to be the apex predator of the digital world. And so, rather than using it to his advantage, Loftweir decided to kill it in the cradle. The Whizworm's no fool. Some things that are too dangerous to play with. How would you put that genie back in a bottle if it ever slipped out of your control? Answer, you couldn't. And then what? And then what would it? And then it would take over the world. One. Okay, this thread has officially gone off the rails. I'm closing it down for the good of mankind. The slow scroll of the text comes to a stop. There are no official records in the Saderkrupp database to support the existence of the Apex project, but the thing that I encountered was Apex. Of that I am certain. This I am certain that Apex was responsible for the deaths of Monica Schaefer, Green Winters, Clockwork Peregrine, and a score of other deckers that, over the last 16 years... Blitz raises his hand. Hold up, Alice, I have a question. I thought they said that Loftweir killed Apex. They speculated as much. Yes, they were wrong on that count. I do believe that Saderkrupp was developing Apex as a tool for Matrix warfare. I'm also convinced that the IT personnel who were killed were the Apex development team, but I don't think that Lofweir was responsible for their deaths. Apex killed them. That'd be my guess, yes. In the turmoil surrounding Lofweir buyout Saderkrupp, a number of projects went missing. I believe Apex was appropriated by a member of the Farshwinds organization at this point. It was then unleashed on its own development team to silence them. Since then, it has provided information control for the Firewing. A pet AI that would explain how Farshwinds was managed to maintain her conspiracy and avoid detection for the past 2 decades. Anytime someone gets close, the AI takes them out and scrubs the record clean. So there's your bad news, Selton McFarkles. Vauclair is being held in the Harfield Manor, but knowing that does you no good because you can't approach the place. I doubt you could open the door without Apex frying you. We did last time. They were trying to protect their secret. Like Audrin said, if we hadn't gone down into the basement, they'd have let us go. Apex didn't react to us until Monica attempted to force the door in the basement. And now that the cat's out of the bag, they have no reason not to pull out the big guns on sight. You're right, we can't go back while Apex is in place. The room falls into silence. Finally, Jaeger turns to you. What's the play, Selton McFarkles? We can't turn back now. If Apex is standing between us and Vauclair, then we need to find a way to kill Apex. Fucking A, boss, I'm in. Did you hear that, Alice? Do you have any suggestions? The simulacrum hitches again. The pause stretches. Finally, it comes back to life. The AI has a kill switch, but Alice deemed any additional contact with Apex to be an unjustifiable risk. Attempting to reach the kill switch would be inadvisable. I'll be the judge of that. Alice, tell us about Apex's kill switch. The simulacrum stares at you with dead eyes. Thanks to my close encounter with the AI, I was able to run a trace on it. Through this trace, I discovered the physical address of a backdoor access point for Apex's programming, an old Saderkrupp research lab long since abandoned and fallen into disrepair. The facility is now hotly contested gang territory. I have also determined that a kill switch for the AI exists somewhere in the basement of this facility. I will provide you with a physical address. I don't like the smell of this, Chief. It said that Apex let Alice escape. He turns to address the simulacrum on the screen. Alice, why would a Matrix Warfare AI allow you to run a trace on it? It stares straight ahead, but its eyes are dead again. I'm afraid the answer to that question falls outside the scope of my written parameters. You have now reached the end of this presentation. I have been encoded with a final message from Alice to Selton McFarkles. Playback commencing. The simulacrum's eyes go wide, and the life floods back into it and stares directly at you. Selton McFarkles, if you didn't listen to me before, listen to me now. Drop this. Stop going after Vauclair. Get out of Berlin. Stay out of the Matrix. I'm telling you this for your own good. That is all I have to say. I'm following my own advice. I'm out. Don't try to contact me again. The simulacrum reverts to its idle state, slumping like a puppet with its string cut. Its eyes glaze over and its face goes slack. The screen cuts to black. So the Dragon has a killer AI in charge of its security. I can't say I'm surprised, but then nothing surprises me anymore. We know that what killed Monica. We have to name for it, and now we know how to kill it. That's good enough for me. We know what we have to do. We can either stand around talking about it, or we can go and do it. Agreed. We shut down Apex, and then we re-enter the estate and rescue Vauclair. He's the key to the whole thing. Sounds like a plan, boss. I still say all this is crazy talk, Chief. Taking on an AI isn't just a bad idea. It's suicide. So my vote is to cut and run. Blitz surveys the rest of the group, sees the determination in their faces, finally sigh. But if you're really going to do this, you'll want the best decker you can find along for the ride. And I guess that nominates me. Woo! Alice said that the kill switch is located in some old SK facility. I'm assuming that the site was shut down sometime after Apex project disappeared. It could have stood empty for years. Maybe decades. She also said that the building was in gang territory. I wonder if it'll be anything like Das Kesselhaus was. God, I hope not. There's only one way to find out. Let's get prepped. This thing isn't going to kill itself. Blitz glances at you, the worries painted all over his face. I can't believe I'm saying this, but you'd better bring me along. You try going up against an AI without a Nova Hot Decker at your side, you're probably going to regret it. Jaeger begins her weapons check. Improvise, adapt, overcome. Whatever's there, we'll deal with it. First, we find our way into the basement. She peers through the scope of her sniper rifle. And then we kill the AI that killed Monica. Damn right. The team breaks to begin gearing up. As she slides a shell into her shotgun, Jaeger catches your eye. You did good out there defending the Krezer Brazer Brazar. You've had our backs the entire way. Made good decisions. I appreciate that. Now you need to forgive yourself. You weren't out of position, Jaeger, and you know it. Jaeger scowls at the floor. Thanks. Can't do it, but thanks. Anyway, we should get back to it. We've got an AI to take out after all. Selt McFarkles, do me a favor and keep your eyes open on this one. We're walking into unknown here. Makes me a little uneasy. Don't worry, Jaeger. I've got your back. She smiles, claps you on the shoulder. I know you do, and I've got all yours. You've more than earned it. Stop it. You're making my mascara run. She smirks as she slides the shotgun into its sheath on her back. I have that effect on people sometimes. Come on, you two. We've got a job to get ready for. And we have a job to get ready for. Which, we don't have to... oh, God. We have people to talk... no, I don't want to talk to everybody again. I really don't. Hey, whoa. What's this? Oh. But we have people to talk to. And we will do that later. God, I don't want to talk to people. I just want to go get on with the killing. Hopefully there's not that much. But we'll do it next time, friends. On Shadowrun Dragonfall. We're getting there. We're getting close, I think. We're getting close. We have, like, I would say, like, a couple big missions. I just feel it. We will see. So until then, you guys, you all take care. And, of course, have a good one.